Okay, my name is Sam Smith, and we're here with the Love Everything podcast. Emily's already loving it. This is going to be a place where I put out in the universe kind of what I'm doing and more importantly, why I'm doing it. And really excited for episode 1. We've got two of my favorite people in the world, Emily Cates and Dylan Mazeka, two of the people that are easiest for me to love. How are you guys doing today?
You can go first.
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. I'm glad to join you guys.
Okay, Emily?
Likewise. I'm excited to be here. We're the first guest, so it's an honor.
Yeah. Now, are you more excited or less excited for this podcast than when you did Barstool?
I'm more excited for this one.
Oh, why?
Because you're my friend.
That's right, Barstool, suck it. Okay. So this is our first episode, so, I kind of wanted to have it be about, what am I all about? My nonprofit, Next Door Worldwide, what's that all about? And I figured we'd start off with a little segment called the question game.
Already, we're jumping right into it. I'm scared.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do. So what we're gonna do is basically, I asked you guys to prepare some questions.
Did you know about this, Dylan? He told me in the car, and I was like, I have a half hour to prepare questions. I'm not ready.
I sent you an email 2 hours
No,
before
you
that
didn't.
car ride. Check your email. Look.
For real?
Yeah, no, I've had the questions for at least 2 hours, so yeah, plenty of time to prepare.
Oh, I have one question prepared, and I already forget it.
All right. So then it's not prepared.
Okay.
But anyways, that's okay. I knew that I was giving you guys short notice, so I came up with questions already.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah. Well, don't read it now. We'll just just do the episode. Okay. So I already have questions prepared, but this is how I want to do it. At first, I was writing questions as if I was you, as if I was me but then I was like, I actually think it might be interesting to see what Emily has to say for this question that I was going to ask Dylan, or vice versa. So basically, if you guys don't have any, I've got some prepared. We'll pick randomly, and then you can also decide who you want to ask that question to, but you have to ask before you find out the question. So yeah, okay. You're just try to hang on. It's gonna be a little tough. I'm gonna captain this ship, episode 1, so we might be in some rough waters right now, but I'll get us through this. All right, so do either of you have a question you want to get started off with, or do you want me to throw it out there?
Yeah, I actually have one question. Like I said, did have plenty of time to pour over it. So I want to ask Sam this question. Do I have to say who I'm asking it to?
Okay.
So, there's a lot of great charities out there and a lot of things you can donate money to.
Yeah.
Why is, water security more important than pediatric cancer?
Why is it more important than pediatric cancer? That's a good question. I'm going to just start off by admitting something. I don't know what pediatric means.
Children.
Children.
Children cancer?
Yes. Out of everything you could have donated towards, why is this the one that stands out?
So why this over pediatric cancer? Got it.
Wow, he's putting you on the spot with this.
No, that's a great question. So kids cancer, obviously that's tough. Also, one of the sponsors I forgot to mention for the podcast is Make-A-Wish. So if any kids out there right now that, have cancer and are listening to this, makeawish.org, big fan of our podcast, and they support us. So definitely check them out. Now, unfortunately, there's a lot of places in the world where kids can't even make it to the point where they actually get cancer. And that's because they're dying of water. Like in Ethiopia, 1 out of 11 children die before the age of 5. And the biggest reason for that is because they don't have access to clean drinking water, and that just leads to a myriad of other diseases and other things. And one of my hopes for this world is that every kid gets to live to, at least have the opportunity to beat cancer. And unfortunately, a lot of kids aren't because of this. So that would be my answer to that question. Does that satisfy you?
Yeah, I mean, people ask me when I'm trying to, when I raise my own donations or, I'm talking about it, they always say, why this? That's a great answer. So I'm definitely going to use that myself.
Cool. And I should have given you guys a better introduction here. So Emily and Dylan are two of the top donors in Nextdoor Worldwide's history. So in addition to being some of my favorite people, I've known Dylan for almost 20 years now. Emily, we've been through a lot together, I would say.
Yeah, I've known you for like all the time I've been in LA, so like 4.5 years.
You're actually my best friend in LA.
Me too.
And you're my only friend here as well.
Same now. Like all of them are gone.
Yeah, I don't have any friends.
We're the last one standing.
Yep.
So I'll be thinking of you guys. That's really sad.
No, it honestly is. Like Sav moved, and I was like, wow, I really like have cut too many people off here. I don't have any friends anymore.
I haven't cut anyone off. This is all I got.
Wait, I have a question.
Okay.
So, okay, you said we're like the top donors.
You are. Yeah.
So, okay, if I were to donate, which I have, but like where exactly is this money going?
Got it. So,
if someone wants to donate, like how do you put that towards the charity?
Good question. Okay, so a few things. So first off, if you want to donate, you can just Venmo at Nextdoor Worldwide. Go to our website, nextdoorworldwide.com. So PayPal at Nextdoor Worldwide. So a lot of great places that you can donate. But in terms of like, okay, there's a lot of charities. You want to know that the money is being put to good use. So right now, every public donation that we get, so donation from you, from Dylan, basically anyone besides from myself and my company, goes towards paying for a solar water farm. So we do have a bunch of overhead costs, like for example, making this video, making this podcast, our website, putting on the events. There's a lot of overhead costs that we do incur, but myself and my business covers 100% of that expense. So every single dollar that we get goes directly towards the cause. And then for us, what we're good at is actually raising money. So we have partners in the field that are actually installing the solar water farms. And the name of the charity that we're partnered with that's doing that is called Give Power. And Give Power uses same thing. They have a private company that covers all of their overhead. So every single dollar that we give to Give Power also goes directly into the field, which I think is really important when you're donating to charity, because there are a lot of charities out there that a lot of their money goes towards marketing, administrative costs, all these other things, and you want to actually know that your money's making an impact. One thing that's really cool about the water problem or donating towards the water crisis is that, so these solar water farms that we're paying for, each one that gets installed will give about 35,000 people access to clean drinking water for the next 20 years. And Give Power actually maintains it for the next 20 years as well. So it's not like they're just giving them the solution and then just, walking away. They're actually, impacting a huge amount of people. And the way that each donation breaks down, like if you do the math out on, okay, 35,000 people, the cost of actually, putting one of these solar water farms in the field, every $20 donation is essentially giving one person access to clean drinking water for the next 20 years. So every single dollar that we get goes directly to Give Power, and then every single dollar that we give to Give Power goes directly towards putting up a solar water farm in the field. There's no marketing, administrative costs, anything like that. In addition to that, we have partnered with Charity Water, which is another big water charity that builds wells. We haven't started raising money for them yet. That's going to be in Q4 of this year, actually running the New York City Marathon with them. And we've agreed to pay for at least like one well for Charity Water. So we're just trying to figure out how can we make the best impact. And that's kind of what my job is as the leader. I feel like I lost your interest.
No, I'm listening.
Okay.
People.
Did she look like she lost her interest?
No, I have ADHD, so like I'm listening, but like, yeah, it doesn't look like I'm listening. That's with everything.
So I have a question.
Yeah. Now you're. I'm
Do
listening.
you care
I
about
swear.
the kids dying of water?
Yes, I was.
No, say it to my face.
I do care. I could just recite everything you just said to me. A $20 donation goes towards 35,000 people, and no, $20. $20.
All right, you got it.
No, $20 feeds one person.
Well, you don't usually say
But
feed water.
Okay, but the 35,000 people, like, how much is that donation? Or just the water source?
How much does a solar water farm cost? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Usually between like $600,000 to $800,000 for an entire solar water farm.
But $20, like, basically is a water supply for one person?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you just take the math and divide it by 35,000, roughly $20.
I get what you're saying now.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm paying attention. And now I'm asking you because some of it went over my head, but now
That's
I'm
good.
clarifying.
There's no dumb questions here, Emily. Everyone probably has the same question you have. And also, if I was losing your interest, probably losing a lot of people's interest out there. So I appreciate you looking really bored and reeling me back in. All right. So with that being said, let's get into some of the questions that I have prepared. So again, some of these questions are for me, some of these questions are for you guys, but instead of actually directing them at the person, I have them numbered. So Dylan, why don't you go first? I'm gonna I have 8 questions. I'd like you to, and we kind of hit one of them already. So if you pick that number, I'll have you go again. But I would love for you to pick a number 1 through 8, and then we'll have you ask Emily this question and see what she says. And then, you know,
I feel like I'm in school and I'm like intimidated.
Yeah, no.
This is like an icebreaker.
Can I be excused?
No.
Okay.
This is for the kids. All right, so Dill, pick a number.
We'll go 6.
Okay, number 6. Oh, this is a good question. So Emily, you can snap your fingers and solve one of these problems. The others will remain. Children dying from violence, like school shootings, kids in war, like in Ukraine, other war-torn areas. Unborn children being killed, abortions, or waterborne disease. Which of those do you choose and why?
I feel like I'm in a pageant, like that you're asking me.
Yeah, you're in like a beauty
questions.
pageant. Yeah.
Should I pretend that I'm proper and answer?
Yeah, answer it like you've like
So
this is to
if
be
I
Miss
could
California.
snap my fingers and solve one of these problems, out of the 3 options, I would choose all of them.
No, that's not answering the question.
This is like if I leave one out, I'm gonna be canceled.
So what you're just gonna do is solve no problems.
I'm solving all of the problems, and I will find a way.
No, it's a hypothetical. Okay, then if you were gonna find a way, you would have done it. I just want to know. Okay, like
all of these
rank
are
them
very
most important to you to least important.
That's not a fair question. I'd say like
I'm not. There's no wrong answers. They're all good causes. I just want to know. I'm curious. Like this is a place where you can have honest discussion. There's no bad answer. You're gonna solve. You're gonna do something
have
really
a lifeline, and Dylan can answer this question. Because
So you're dodging the question.
I'm not dodging it, but I already gave you my answer. I choose all of these. If I could.
Oh,
snap
that's like if I say I'm gonna flip a coin, heads or tails, and you're like, I choose both. It's like that's not.
Well, I know
that's
the
not how it
answer that you want me to say.
No. That's gonna be my answer. I'm curious if you guys would choose different ones. There is no bad answer here.
Okay, abortion, waterborne diseases, or violence, like shootings.
School shootings, kids dying in war-torn countries.
Well, I know what I would say.
Yeah. All right, Dylan. We're coming back to you. You're not dodging this one.
Okay.
Dylan?
I want to hear what Dylan's saying.
I would solve the violence because I know that we're already working on the waterborne diseases. We'll have that one done with this charity 50 years from now. I mean, we're getting close. So I'll take care of violence, knowing we'll take care of, waterborne diseases with the charity.
What about abortion?
Not every problem has an answer. And is that a problem?
I knew that you guys were. I knew that you guys are. I believe you're both pro-choice, right?
Yes.
I'm not. Yeah. Yeah. I still don't have an answer to this question.
So you still are not going to pick one?
No.
All right. Well, I don't think there's any bad answer there. You know, either way, you're saving children. But one fun fact for you guys: more kids die every year from waterborne disease than all of the violence in the world combined. So, in fact, every 90 seconds, little guys dying from waterborne disease. So.
I'm snapping my fingers 3 times to solve all of it.
All right, Emily, you can solve all 3. So let me change the question. You can solve all 3. Which one do you do first? Like, what's the order? So you snap 3 times. What was the first snap?
Well, because you said most children die from waterborne diseases, I'm picking that one.
Okay, so that's the one that you think is more important. I agree.
No,
Good
now
call.
you're twisting my words. Next question.
Okay, next question. So you get to pick the next question. So don't look at my sheet.
Okay.
So pick a number, and you can ask
we already
Dylan
picked
this. You can
6?
ask Dylan this question. Yep, 6 is taken.
Okay. 2.
2. Okay, so this is Emily's question for Dylan. Why are you trying to be an influencer?
This is a question for me.
Yeah, I mean, she picked
Well-
it. I mean, did I write that thinking about you? Not completely, but have you done a lot of interesting things with soup on your Instagram? Yeah.
Oh, that's what he was telling me. He told me to ask you about that.
Yeah, well, I know, if I was an influencer and if I did want to grow, I think a reason to do it, and I'm kind of maybe putting my Sam cap on, it would be to get the word out about a charity. So I guess if I do decide to revive the Soup brand, I'll make sure to have a link in the bio because that would kind of be my move as an influencer.
I appreciate that.
It's
Emily,
a liquid-based food, so I think it would fit nicely with the charity.
Yeah, that's true. You literally can't have soup without water. Good point. With that being said, I would say, Emily, you're the number 1 influencer of the group here.
No, that's you.
I'm an influencer in training.
Okay.
So, like, why are you such an like, why are you doing that?
Like, why is that my job, or
Like, why are you trying to be an influencer? What's your problem?
my problem? So you're just influencer shaming right now.
I didn't know that
Okay,
the question
I
was going to take that tone, but that just
don't really
felt
like
natural.
the term influencer, but I guess I don't really have an answer. I mean, it's kind of like I fell into that. I accumulated a following, and then I was able to keep them. So I guess that's my answer. That's why I'm an influencer. Hypothetically. But, like, I'm not, like...
Wait, isn't that... What do you mean, hypothetically?
Like, why am I an influencer? Or... I don't understand the question.
Yeah. That wasn't my best question of the 8. But what I did want to tell you guys is why I'm on social media.
It was the second one you wrote down.
Well, because that one was written for me.
I guess I'm an influencer because it's a job that makes me money
It
at
pays
the
the
moment.
bills.
Yeah.
It pays the bills.
My
But
mission statement
Yep.
isn't as, like, meaningful as yours, but I don't really have a mission statement, actually.
Well, let's workshop one.
Okay.
What do you think? Like,
I'm also not an influencer. I'm probably like a sex worker, to be honest, if you want to get into things.
Okay.
Into more of a proper term.
So you consider OnlyFans sex workers?
Yeah.
So, like, if you were to rank on the hierarchy, prostitute, OnlyFans girls, stripper, where...
What do you mean? Like, what's the worst?
Like, yeah, like, you feel like you're at the top?
I don't consider myself a prostitute or a stripper.
I know, that's why they're 3 different things. So where are you?
Probably below that. I mean, I don't judge. Like, they can do whatever they want. Like,
Is there
by all
I guess I
means.
don't know. Is there a hierarchy, like, among sex workers? Like,
I don't really know. It's kind of new to me, but I wouldn't really consider myself an influencer.
Does Fashion Nova send you clothes for free?
They did, and then I stopped posting.
Okay. Does anyone else? Do you ever
No.
get free Botox?
No. I got lip injections from like 2 years ago for free for like a story tag, and no. I pay for all my work.
You do?
And by all my work, I mean just a little bit of Botox and filler. And a boob reduction.
Humble brag.
Definitely not going to get an influencer deal on any body surgery.
But you are an influencer because you have a lot of people that follow you, so you influence them just by posting.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, I just asked that question because I wanted to say why I was on it.
Yeah,
so,
tell me.
Yeah.
Do you want to share why you are?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like getting defensive of these questions, and
Well,
I'm
I
not
did-
like meaning to.
No, I did come at you with like, what's your problem type attitude. I don't know why I did that. That was just like, it just felt natural. So I understand where you're coming from. That was on me. I think that's like, episode 1, it's like I'm bullying my guests a little bit. Hopefully I can get better at that as I do more.
It might have worked. You know what I mean? It might have been something for episode 2. You don't know till you do it.
Yeah, that's a good point. So far, I feel like it didn't work. Okay, so I haven't really been on. Well, you guys have actually both seen me kind of be up and down in this influencer world. I go in and then I go dark. At one point, I did the really cool move of unfollowing everybody. You guys remember that?
Yeah, that's obnoxious.
That's obnoxious.
Rude.
It's kind of a power move, though, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever like been with someone that did that?
You were asking me this because you know the answer. This like actor that's kind of well known is following 0 people. So when Sam did it, he was like, "Oh, I'm like pulling a so and so," and I'm like, "Yeah, but it's like." And then also that guy, and he has other Instagram accounts that he like follows people on. So I don't really understand like the.
How many Instagram accounts are tied to the charity and your job? Sam's got a bunch of burners too.
No, I didn't do burners. I do have the Next Door Worldwide Instagram, but the reason why I like hired this company is so that I don't have to be on it. But with that being said, I really want to, like in my life, like when I die, hopefully not soon, like I'd like to leave behind like a community of people that kind of believe what I believe. Like the charity's like mantra or slogan, whatever you want to call it, is do something hard with people you love for a cause greater than yourself. So, that's kind of my long-term goal, is just trying to build a community of people that want to do that and living that myself. So I realize like I'm very unique. There's not really a lot of people out there like me. I'm probably not going to meet, a million of them just, walking around my apartment and in LA just taking my dog out. So I want to put myself out there so that people can see what I'm doing. I don't want my like account to be like motivational in the sense like I'm telling people what they should do, because truth is I have no idea what anyone should do to be happy or fulfilled, but I know that's what makes me happy and fulfilled, and I need to put myself out there if I want to try to find other people that want to kind of go after the same types of goals and basically just make the most out of life together. So that's like my long-term goal. Like right now, I'm definitely way more focused on just developing myself and reaching my own personal goals. But I think along the way, if I can meet other people that have similar mindset, that would be very cool for me. And for the charity, I can't really reach any of my goals by myself. So that's kind of why I'm back here, is to show people what I'm doing and find people that are like-minded.
Period. He's with the times.
Yeah. Cool. All right, let's go another question. So we'll go back at that was Emily for Dylan. So now we'll go Dylan for Emily. So Dylan, you want to pick another number?
Yeah, 4.
Number 4. Okay. Why did you start a charity or I knew that or why haven't you started a charity yet? So Emily, as far as I know, you don't have a charity, so why not? What's your problem? Get a phone.
Why are
I
you
guess
doing that?
I haven't done enough research for what charity I would pick, which I'm definitely not opposed to starting a charity. I needed also, like, can I switch the question on you?
Yeah.
How did you or did Dylan already ask this? I guess he asked about the pediatric cancer, which kind of ties into it.
Mm-hmm.
But why did you pick this charity?
Yeah, it's a good question.
I mean, you've answered this question already, but I guess to answer your question is I haven't decided what type of charity I would want to start.
No, I don't think I have answered this question of why I started the charity.
Okay, go.
Do you? Okay. Yeah. So why I started the charity? Um, the funny thing is, like, so our charity right now is about helping people get access to clean drinking water. But I think most of the people that I've seen that are, doing a lot in that space kind of learned about it through other charitable work. Like the the owner of or the founder of Charity Water, which is like the biggest water charity I know of. He was going to Africa and helping sick people, and he wanted to kind of make a difference, and basically realized all these people that were getting surgeries and sick, and there were so many people that were having to turn away. Like, the biggest reason why so many people were sick and so many people needed better healthcare was just because they didn't have basic access to clean drinking water, and that could prevent so many of the illnesses and issues from even happening in the first place. So he wanted to kind of do something more with his life, and then realized water was the best cause, and that is basically the same story with me. During 2020, my business was shut down with COVID. I was basically got into a ton of debt. And just I was like feeling very bad for myself because like I'd worked so hard to build up my business, and then it got shut down, and like same shit that I think everyone was, or a lot of people were dealing with, like being depressed, not happy with being stuck at home, all that bullshit. Um, I learned like through that that kind of what got me out of that depression was just like not hoping that I would get certain things or like achieving goals, but just being appreciative for what I already had. So like kind of found gratitude and got really like interested in history through that time. And I started like feeling a lot better. But I realized like one of the things that I'll really need in my life to be happy is like this renewed sense of perspective. And there's so many people in America that were so upset, myself included, that year. But then you could look at people in these third world countries, and if you compare yourself to them, then it's like, well, what am I really complaining about? So I realized like I want to, instead of traveling and doing like fancy trips, I want to go to like a third world country and just like help build a school or just get to experience like what that's like, to hopefully like help get myself a better sense of perspective, because definitely grew up pretty privileged, like pretty middle class for America, but definitely privileged for the world. So I was running an internship at the time, and I was like, well, if I'm going to take time away and do this, like I'd like to try to help the students I'm working with get that same experience. So I'm just going to, start a charity, and I'll bring a group of people to third world country, and we'll just, try to help, in some way. So that's how it got started. It actually wasn't involved with water. I started looking for charity partners, and that's where I found Give Partner and Give Power. They put solar panels on schools and hospitals in third world countries. But when they were doing that same thing, they realized like the biggest issue that these people are facing is, lack of electricity is tough, but it's lack of access to clean water. Like that's just such a basic need that's causing so much suffering, so much death. And so they really transitioned, and they developed this technology, that the solar water farms that we talked about. And so through talking to them, I basically started learning more about the water crisis. My business partner, grew up in different parts of Asia, and he's been, working in building wells for people for the last 4 or 5 years. And so, yeah, it was something that I kind of knew about, but didn't know a lot of information. And I started looking into it and realizing, like, out of all the causes, there's a lot of great causes, but this is one that's really solvable. Number one, it's just about putting more resources towards it. And then number two, I just felt like it's the most worthy cause that I could do, because I felt like I could save the most lives and make the biggest impact with it. So so we partnered with Give Power and agreed to pay for a solar water farm. And then the other thing that we are doing, which is what got us started, is we are taking a trip in February. So we're going to be bringing a group of people to put solar panels on a school. All of our public donations are going towards the water farm and the water crisis, but that's something that I'm also personally paying for, and a couple private donors are personally paying for to put solar panels on a school. If you wanted to donate towards that, you could, but we just kind of assume all donations are going to go towards the water crisis, because that's kind of what we advertise the most. So that's where your money is actually going. But I'm really excited about that. In February, we're going to take 10 people to Colombia. We're going to visit one of the solar water farms that's there. And then we're going to get to kind of, meet this community that doesn't have electricity, and we're going to give their school solar power. We'll do the physical labor for it. And my goal is every year to take a group of people on one of these trips. So hopefully maybe 1 year, you guys will want to come with me. But yeah, but that's my goal. Like all my friends, families, loved ones that want to, I don't want to drag anyone there, but they want to give them that opportunity to gain that perspective. Like for me, this charity isn't about me being a good person or doing things for other people. It's like, I really do enjoy life more when I'm helping others, and I feel like I'm doing something good. And so like, I kind of look at myself as a charity as well. Like I'm doing this for me just as much as anyone else. And I do feel like, there's a lot of other people that would find that too if they did more. So
that makes me feel kind of useless that I don't have a charity, but motivated to start a charity. So until I do start my own charity, I'll donate to yours.
I appreciate that. And you know what? The world doesn't need more charities. You just put all your time and effort into mine, and that would be totally fine.
Okay. That works for me.
Okay.
And now I'm being more educated on your charity because I've donated, but now I know like exactly where it's going.
Yeah. So that's a good transition to why. This is one of the questions I wrote. You are the two of our biggest donors ever. So what did lead you to donate? What are the biggest reasons that? I'll ask you first, Emily, and then you, Dylan. Why have you been such a great donor for the charity?
Well, basically what you've explained in this podcast, you've explained to me like outside of the podcast. So I know it's going towards a good cause. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Usually like I'll see a lot of stories, Instagram stories, and like GoFundMe and stuff like that. I think you showed me a video that actually like put things into perspective where I'm like, oh wow, that's really unfortunate that they're living like that. So for my money to go towards that cause, feels good. But right. Did you show me a video? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, when we were in Tahoe, I definitely showed you a video.
Yeah.
Emily also was a big supporter of me when I did the 4x4x48 challenge, 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours.
Yeah, I didn't really understand that, but...
You didn't understand why I did that?
No, I do, but like I just think that's crazy to run that.
Got it. So...
I couldn't do it personally.
How far do you think you could run?
Like how long? Can I take breaks like you did?
Yeah, well, no, just at once. You could take it, but it's just at once. How far do you think you could run?
Mm-hmm. Is there like an incentive?
Like if you're just going for a run to see how far you could go.
Probably like without stopping.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like 3 miles.
All right. Well, that's great news because we have a 5K coming up in 2 weeks. And I have now I'm assuming if you can run 3 miles, you'll running the 5K?
Can I walk a little bit?
Yeah, walking's allowed. So you don't have to run. Walking is allowed. We're going to be announcing that. Actually, by the time this comes out, it's probably already announced. So August 6th, we've got a 5K in Santa Monica on the beach.
For Next Door Worldwide?
Yep. So every participant gets a T-shirt, and will help give 2 people access to clean drinking water. Dylan, I've got great news for you, buddy. We're doing it virtually as well. So
I was just gonna say, let me know the details. I'll get Kellen. I'll get the push-up crew. We'll have a Worcester version of it.
Yep, you can walk it, run it, row it, swim it, or bike it. Just everyone's gonna do 3.1 miles, and you guys will all get your shirts mailed to you, or hand delivered if you're very lucky, which you are gonna be one of those people because I think I'm gonna see you a couple more times this year. Well, Emily, that's really sweet. So thank you. Now, Dylan, I'd love to hear your answer.
Yeah, I mean, I think Emily brought up a lot of good points about the value of what you're bringing in terms of like everything else you could donate to. From my perspective, I think you already mentioned it. It's really about like seeing where your money goes and knowing what it goes to. I'm pretty lucky to know you personally, so I know how passionate you are about this. So I'm not really worried about, the charity not meeting its goal or, not building this solar farm, because I know you're at the helm of it. So it's one of those things where I know the money's going to the right place and I know it'll eventually get done.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, what he said, because like in some cases it could, I know like, I don't know why I just thought of Fire Festival and that the whole purpose of that
was very influencer of you to have that.
Yes, thought. It wasn't Fire Festival. It was more of just like recreation, not so much like a charity.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like there's a lot of charities that promise one thing and it's going towards something else and you're being like scammed and taken advantage of. So like, because you're so passionate and a good person, like we know that it's going actually to a good cause instead of.
Did you say you think I'm a good person?
Yeah.
Really? Dylan. Not a lot of people would have said that back in high school.
No, they wouldn't have. And now you have it recorded, so you can make sure you cut that into a clip.
Yeah, that's gonna be a reel. Is that what they call it? You're a good person, Sam. Will you say it one more time?
You should do a TikTok that's like how you know that your donation's actually going to a legitimate cause.
Okay, search.
Or be like red flags that the
down.
Charity is not legit.
Okay. I don't know.
I mean, yours is legit. I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I know we're legit. We are a public charity, 501c3, so we don't have to pay taxes, meaning all your donations are tax deductible. And actually, this transitions me into a good idea that I have. I know there's a lot. This is definitely something we should clip to the editors here. If you want to know how to not have to pay taxes,
don't ask me.
Yeah, Emily just made it through an audit. Successfully.
Yeah, I won.
Hell yeah. Wait, tell Dylan what you had to do to prove that it was
well,
legitimate.
Do you want to? You were talking about taxes.
No, we'll get back to it.
Okay. So basically, the IRS. Shout out IRS if you're watching this. My auditor. Love ya. So basically, she tried to deny all of my expenses, like my hotels, Airbnb, so like all my travel expenses, which was a lot of money.
Like how much?
Like $40,000 to $50,000. I was gonna have to owe the IRS more, which I've already paid a lot of money towards the IRS. This is from 2020, by the way. So I wasn't making great money before that. I mean, I was honestly like pretty broke.
You worked for me, and I think I paid you $15 an hour.
Yeah, I worked as like a caller, and he recorded the calls and said I did not do a great job.
It was mutually decided that we would not work together anymore.
I don't really know the reason of the audit. I think it probably was a bunch of different things, but maybe they saw that I wasn't making money and then I went to making a lot of money. So basically the auditor tried to deny all of my expenses. Like I've gone on a lot of trips to like Big Bear, Jamaica, like a lot of places where I'm doing work and shooting content there. So I'm like, okay, if they want to see it, I'm going to have receipts, not actual like, well, actually I did have to get all my physical receipts, but I mean like
The IRS wants.
it was a fucking pain in the ass, but now I know to collect all of my receipts, which I've been trying my best, but yeah. So basically I screenshotted all of my Instagram and OnlyFans content of hotels and Airbnbs that I've expensed. So the IRS was opening up all of my content, so they basically got a free subscription.
So she had to send her nudes to the IRS to prove that she was making content in all the locations she traveled to.
Yep.
Now, do you think this auditor realized what was going on? Didn't really have a case, but was like, I'm not, ponying up for the subscription. So
Yeah, my CPA is like a savage. Like she's this woman in Florida and she knows her shit. So basically when I got audited, she was like, "Can you give me like a formal description of what OnlyFans is?" And she like basically phrased it as like an email subscription site where like blah blah blah. I'm like, "Why don't you just say straight up that it's OnlyFans?" Like this lady probably knows, but she was just kind of like I don't know. I'm sure like later on the auditor was like, all right, I seen what I needed to see and I get it.
I think it's time that we just all agree. Uncle Sam, pervert.
What? Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the government's just trying to get some nudes, which I think they already have because they track everything, but that's okay.
But it was a woman auditor.
This is 2022. Chances are.
what's the big deal?
Right up her alley. Okay. Back to how you can avoid taxes. This is going to help you, Emily, because I don't know for sure. 2021 was a pretty good year for you.
Yeah.
And have you paid your taxes yet?
I have an extension due to the audit.
I also have an extension. So here's a little trick of the trade. Donate all your money to charity. If you donate everything that you make, you pay zero taxes. And that is foolproof. You will survive any audit. I'll defend you myself, specifically if you donate to our charity. So at Nextdoor Worldwide, you can Venmo that. Send it as a friend because we don't want to pay those credit card fees. Or just, nextdoorworldwide.org.com. We have both domains, no big deal. That's honestly works well for me. I pay very few taxes, and most of it's because I just throw all my money into charity related expenses. So I really highly recommend everyone else does the same thing. Also, do you guys notice like the richer that you get, the more attached you get to things, like the more you need stuff?
Like what?
I thought you said more taxes you pay. Full.
Well, that's true too. No, like attached.
Attached to what?
Like, oh, okay, like
shopping?
Yeah. Like, do you notice like let's say I said, "Oh, Emily, you can't shop for a year now." Would that be harder for you if you had to do it this year, or if I told you that like when you weren't making any money? Like, would it be more difficult now or then?
No.
Yeah. So that's what I mean by attachment. Like
Oh, okay.
So you're kind of making yourself in a way. The more money you make, you kind of make yourself weaker. Like for example, I got a Tesla, right? So it was a much nicer car. And then if I had to go back to a regular car that didn't drive itself, I'd be like, oh, this sucks. But I was always fine kind of driving my Chevy Volt before I got it. So it's like the more stuff you get, you feel like you're treating yourself, but you're actually, in a way, just hurting yourself, just not in the moment. You feel good when you get it, but then you just want more and more. So a little trick I learned to deal with this as well. Don't buy stuff. Donate your money to my charity. These are just helpful tips. So I have an idea, man. Dylan knows that from our last podcast that we used to do together, International Waters. Like,
is that still like on the internet?
No,
or is it archived?
So it's archived. So, but one of the things that we're doing for premium donators, so anyone who donates $10,000 or more, you'll unlock the entire episode list. We've got 14 episodes of the International Waters podcast, and like I did solve big problems, like not literally, but
Wait, it was called International Waters?
yeah, our subscribers were called the Buoy Boys.
Oh, wow. That's ironic that it was International Waters. It was before the charity, too.
I know. That's called foreshadowing. That I
Where do
believe
you
in
think you got the
omens.
idea?
Omens, that was God just pointing me in the right direction. But
I mean, I'm sure the topics on there were very different than these.
yeah, we literally solved what racism,
Gun control.
gun control, all the big
I
ones.
wouldn't say solved. You probably discussed, but
No, I found a solution that will.
can I have access to these episodes?
Once you get to $10,000 in donations, absolutely. But you're on your way. And then
I
okay,
could probably find them somewhere.
yeah, but you might as well just donate. And
No,
then-
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, you probably could. I will share them with you.
okay.
You can pledge the money. Speaking of pledges, Dylan, anything that's led you to donate a little bit faster than maybe you would have? You actually have given the biggest donation of the last couple months. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Aside from being passionate about solving water insecurity, I'm also awful at blackjack. So when we were on vacation, I was more than happy to pledge a four-figure donation to Next Door Worldwide. So happy to have donated that and to continue to do so over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, that was amazing. So Emily, just to give you the story, so we went to the Poconos for 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
Would have loved it if you could make it. It's okay. I know you were in Europe. So we like to play blackjack, but someone has to be the bank. So I said that I would be the bank, and I did no minimums, no maximums, and basically. Dylan, like you said, he's really bad at blackjack. But I kind of feel like you might have been throwing it on purpose just because you knew I was going to donate all the money the house won to the to the charity. So
if you saw me playing, you probably would not think that I was, tooth and nail trying to get it back. But maybe like deep down, subconsciously, like I know it's going to a good cause, so it was easy to lose.
Yeah, God wanted you to
Wait,
donate.
who else was playing?
Ben was dealing, and then a bunch of people that you don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. But I went to bed, and I think Dylan was down like $200, and I'm not gonna say how much he ended up being down, but I will say it was
$2,500.
$2,500. It was the second biggest single donation that we've received. And so, and also, if anyone wants to donate more money than they actually have, we'll accept that. That's called a pledge. And
Okay, Amber Heard.
Yeah, we take pledges. So we take pledges here. So don't be afraid to just.
Maybe you should ask Amber Heard.
Well, she's a welcher. Okay, that's the other thing. Like, I do run this charity pretty hard, so not that I would ever do this to you, Dylan, but obviously, out of integrity reasons, I would if I had to. Anyone who doesn't pay their pledge, I'll break their fucking knees. That's
Is it recording? There's like technical difficulties going on.
Technical difficulties? No, you're good. Yeah, so I will, like, if someone pledges, because it's about the message, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, I never want to break your knees, Dylan, but then it ruins the integrity of all future pledges. So I have to have an iron fist.
Part of the reason that I contribute to this charity is the integrity. I know it's getting done, and you don't have to worry about me, but
I'm not worried.
If heads need to roll, they need to roll. So
yeah. Now, would you guys help me send a message if I needed to, if someone pledged and they didn't follow through?
Yeah. I'll use my influence to put them on blast.
I appreciate that. That's a great. And Dylan, would you be the muscle?
Yeah, maybe we could even make this like a benefit. If you are a top donor, you get free reign to go crack skulls.
Exactly.
I don't know if
I
most
can't
people
crack
want to
skulls,
do
but
that.
I can definitely like annihilate them on TikTok.
Maybe we do like a survey. Like, do you like the idea of like beating someone up? And then if the answer is yes,
Be a top donor.
then they do that. If the answer is no, it's like, then we won't make you do that. So something for everybody. These are just a brainstorm. All right. We got the last couple questions here. Emily, I think it's your turn to ask Dylan. So do you want to pick a number?
Did we pick 5?
We did not pick 5.
Okay.
It's
Why are so many children dying of waterborne disease?
Dylan?
Why?
This is like a trivia question.
Well,
I mean,
it's because of the water insecurities that exist in so many countries. People don't have access to clean water. And when you don't have access to clean water, it's tough to grow up and even, have experiences. So that would probably be my answer. I don't know how close I was.
I'll jump in here. Yep. But the one big thing that I just want to kind of touch on this is it's like, you brought up Amber Heard. It's like, there's a lot of people in this country that know about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's relationship. Mm-hmm. Not that important of an issue, but a lot of media attention. There's barely anybody knows about the water crisis. So that for I don't know the reason why, but the media loves to talk about problems that are super hard to solve. Well, I guess it's probably because it's divisive, right? So you get people going back and forth and they're in it for ratings, not really to like try to help people or make a difference. But if the media was going to actually talk about problems that were good for people to know about because they're solvable, like the water crisis, very solvable. A lot of the other things we're dealing with, they might be solvable. They're really complicated. This is just putting money towards it. So to me, I think the biggest reason why there's so many people dying is, yes, there's lack of access, but there's just lack of education or people caring. The other thing is like, it's really weird to me in America, and this is something like I dealt with myself, but we don't like, because it's happening. I don't understand, like, because it's happening in Africa or in like parts of Asia, it's like it's not happening. But then we have issues like what's going on in Ukraine or the Middle East a little while ago, where people do care. So it's really hard to like understand. I think it's just that the media will decide what we want to talk about, and then we kind of just follow along. So I think what we need is either the media to start caring about the water crisis, which is not in my control, so I can't do that. So what I can do is just try to educate more people. I think if we had more education, people would be really motivated because number one, like obviously in America, we hate it when kids die, and this is the number one killer of kids in the world. And then number two, this is so solvable. We just have to spend money. Like every part of the country or the world, where people don't have clean water, we can get it for them. There's different ways. A solar water farm might not work in all the areas. Some areas might be wells. Some areas it might be like cleaning contaminated water through other ways. But there's always a way to get people clean water in all parts of the world. So we just need education. And then from that, I think more resources will go towards it. So that's hopefully what this podcast will do. And what you guys, my little water warriors, will do is help educate people about the problem.
Is that what you call donators?
Yeah, I just came up with it, but I think I'm gonna stick.
But what did you call your fan base of the other podcast?
The Bowie Boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now it's Water Warriors.
It is weird though. Like, what do you guys think? Like, why do you think people don't? Because I mean, people don't really care about this in general here in America. What do you guys think the reason for that is?
I think media coverage, like you said, like people aren't educated enough to know that it's a problem.
Yeah. But like, okay, so if I post a picture of myself on my Instagram shirtless, mm-hmm. and I post a picture of people that I'm trying to get clean water to, I will get 20 times more likes on the shirtless picture than I'll get from the other picture.
Yeah, I think it's education, like Emily said, but then like distance is the problem. So, problems in your backyard seem a lot bigger. Like you can touch them. Where if it's another country, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind.
That's what I was thinking too. But then that doesn't really make sense about I remember last summer, people were freaking out about Israel and Palestine. And it's so weird because this has been going on forever, but it's just like there was a certain period where people really cared about it. And then I feel like no one ever, it's off everyone's mind. So yeah, I think part of it is the media. I think you're right. I think the other thing though is like relatable. Like I think the things that really bother us are where we can see ourselves in that situation. So like for example, a school shooting, which is like very moving to people here in America. It's like we all went to school. All of our like this is happening in a location that either we were in and all of our loved ones have gone through. So you can really put yourself or put someone you care about into that situation. I think it's really hard in America for us to fathom not having access to clean drinking water. And that's why a lot of our events are like trying to just spread that awareness. Cause like one of the events that we're going to do in September, I'm going to see how far I can run without drinking any water. And when I tell people, I did this last year, when I tell people about the distance I'm going to go, what I'm going to do, they get very concerned. They start saying like, are you sure that's a good idea? Is that safe? That's crazy. And they get sometimes like irritated or upset that I'm doing something like that. And that's a whole reason why we're doing this event. Like good. It's a lot less dangerous than just living in, like a place in the world where they don't have clean access, which by the way, 1 out of 3 people in the entire world. So there's literally billions of people that don't have access to clean drinking water consistently. It's a major issue. So I think that's part of the challenge that we have to actually be able to do a good job raising money is getting people to understand like the child that dies from not having clean drinking water is just as important as the person that you relate to that could have died from whatever other tragedy. Not that one's more important than the other. It's just, again, this is really solvable. So, let's work together and like feel good about doing something that makes a difference opposed to just fighting with each other about things that are really hard for us to agree on, like gun violence and all the stuff that comes from, these very polarizing issues. This isn't polarizing at all, right? Like there's no one I ever talked to about this and like, I don't think people should get clean drinking water because it's pretty bipartisan, as you could say.
Cool. Yeah, Emily already ranked it the number 1 issue. So
yeah, thank you for that, Emily.
Yep.
All right, let's do one last question to wrap it up. So we've got number. So Dylan, I'll let you choose. I'll tell you the numbers we have open. We've got number 1, number 8, and number 3 still available.
All right, let's go 3.
Number 3. Okay, so this question, I guess we can all answer this, but I'll ask you this one, Dylan. Why do you or don't you have an OnlyFans? Well, first off, do you or don't you?
I don't. Okay. I would say it's probably not like I could get one set up. It's not like a barrier entry. It's probably audience. Like I don't think that demo's there. Okay. So if you guys think there might be an audience, let me know. But I think mainly trying to find people who want to consume it would be my biggest issue.
Got it.
There's a bunch of different categories. Are
there any soup categories?
Soup. I mean,
it's all about the niche.
Maybe if that's really like specific. So maybe someone's into something new and they'll be like, "Oh, this is interesting."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Dylan and I. Maybe I won't talk about that. I was going to talk about our. Never mind. Let's just say. Okay. All right. We'll leave it there. But Emily, you do have an OnlyFans. I think you kind of already answered why you have one. Pays the bills.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the whole reason why I put this question on there. Do you think I should start one for the charity?
Honestly, you could. It's extra income coming in, and it would be if it's going towards your charity, then why not?
How much do you think I could make if I got someone good managing the messages?
I mean, it depends on how many subscribers you.
Well, got. I know that's what I'm asking. Like
right now, from your following, that
Well, obviously, I feel like a shout out for a shout out, right? We're gonna obviously trade.
I don't think my following would really translate that well to yours because most of them are straight, but a lot of the males on OnlyFans are following is gay. Yeah. So if you were able to get some gay followers, I'm sure they would be interested in subscribing.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, there's nothing worse than just like
you'd have
putting your naked body out there and then having everyone just turn it down. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if you did everything that you did, but then everyone was just like, no thanks.
Well, you could could test it out to see if there's an audience. Like, you
I
could
know,
just
but
make
I don't
a page.
wanna...
You don't have to post all nudity right at first. See if there's even like
philanthropy, like a section.
I just don't want to do that and then fail at that. You know what I mean? Like, that's such a bad look.
What's the your mission statement of your charity? Do something hard.
So, yeah.
What can you
with people you love for a cause greater than yourself?
Exactly.
So if I'm hard, that does actually check that box. All right. Well, possibly an OnlyFans coming then, but
OnlyFans.com/nextdoor worldwide.
Actually, there is a lot of gay porn. Be careful if you Google our charity. Dylan, did you send me that, right?
Yeah.
Like Girl Next Door or something?
No, gay next door. What was it, Dylan? Do you remember?
It was like a back page type website, but just for gay men.
Okay.
Got it.
The charity. So.
Well, maybe like the SEO you can like that can work in your favor.
Yeah, actually.
If you do start an OnlyFans.
Actually, really good. Right now, I want to make this clear. Talk directly into the camera. We are not affiliated with the gay backpage website Nextdoor Worldwide. With that being said, we might be future partnership potentially. We don't know. We got to discuss it with the board. Okay, cool. I think that's a good place for us to wrap it up. Either of you have any last questions or last things that you wanted to discuss?
No, I think we crossed everything off my list.
Me too.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. Thanks for
having us.
Yeah, thank you for being great donors, great friends, and I'm excited to raise a lot more money and help a lot more people with two of you by my side here. Thank you.
I don't know how to close this out.
You could just be like, okay, thanks.
I said thank you. It's been fun.
All right, let's try that again. Episode. Thank you for coming on, Emily.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right, so that's going to do it for episode 1. Hope you guys got a better understanding of kind of what we're all about, and I hope to see you again for episode 2.